Hi everybody, I'm Walt and I'm 20. Raise your hand those who like to loaf and do nothing. I would raise it too, but I'm too lazy, to be honest. Yes, I believe that life is not about going to work and doing things that you don't want to do. It is given to have fun and relax. But recently, a story happened in my life that made me realize something. Subscribe to the channel and I'll tell you what happened to me. Believe me, you will find this very useful. Yes, I'm a lazy bones. It just turned out that way. But I think many of you are the same. I lived with my parents because I didn't have money to rent an apartment. I didn't even think about buying a car for obvious reasons. I didn't have a girlfriend either. Well, you can guess why. But I was fine with it because I didn't really need it all. I had my room, my precious bed, and an old laptop with games on it. What else do you really need to be happy? I turned a blind eye to many problems, but they gradually came closer and closer. My parents were no longer young and could not work as they used to. My mother was fired a long time ago, and my father did odd jobs. We lived on his modest earnings. Of course, it was not enough, so my parents constantly took out loans. And then one day, they ran up so much that my father could not pay off the debts. So the bank decided to seize our house for debt. It finally got me thinking. I could lose my room. Where would I wallow and play games? I had to get money somewhere, but how should I do that? I was hopeless at earning. And then, quite by chance, I saw an ad on the internet. The Space Exploration Office needed volunteers for weird work. All you had to do was lie on a bed for 70 days and do nothing. I couldn't believe the fluke. This job was created for me. So the next day I went to this office. There I had a short interview and was explained that this was a scientific experiment to find out how weightlessness affected the human body. I was told that this work was quite difficult. Few people could just lie on a bed for more than 2 months and not get up. However, this experiment paid well. They didn't know me very well. I could lie on the bed for much longer, so I didn't hesitate to agree to their terms and sign the contract. And so my work began. They put me on a bed and connected various sensors to my body. A brand new laptop was set on a hanging shelf right in front of me so I wouldn't get bored. I spent days eating pizza, chips, and playing computer games. Was it hard to spend 70 days lying down? For me, it wasn't difficult at all. There were inconveniences when I had to go to the toilet in this position, but I'm not going to tell you how I did it. In general, I was quite comfortable, and the experiment went through without any problems. When it was over, I was paid and promised money and went home. My parents and I were able to pay off the loan and keep our house. It turned out that I saved my family from poverty. Would you say it was easy money? Yes, but not quite. While I was lying in bed for 70 days, all my muscles weakened, and I had problems with blood pressure. So after this work, I had to recover for a while. Of course, laying on bed with a laptop. After we cleared all the debts, I still had a small sum left for myself. To be honest, it was the first money I earned on my own. Mind, I was forced to, but I liked doing nothing and getting paid for it. I was proud of myself and decided to please myself with presents. I bought a new laptop and started hanging out at clubs. I met this girl at a party. Her name was Zoe, and I liked her immediately. I guess she liked me too because she left me her phone number. At first, we called up and chatted for a long time. I could do this for hours, wallowing on the bed in my room. Then, Zoe offered to meet, and we started to walk together. I was telling the girl how I took part in a secret experiment of the Space Exploration Office. Of course, without saying what the experiment consisted of. Zoe listened to me with her mouth open agape. And she probably wouldn't respect me if she knew I was just lying in a bed with sensors all over my body. In short, after a while, she became my girlfriend. But very soon I realized that I needed money again, because I had almost blown my wad, and having a girlfriend but not having money was a complete failure. I decided that if I found one way to make money without doing anything, I would find another as well. The only thing I could do with my life was to be lazy. I was a professional couch potato. That's why I started looking for jobs on the internet, for those who didn't want to work hard. And you know what? It turned out there were enough jobs of that kind, and some to spare. First, I got a job as a caretaker of a tropical island. It was a very simple occupation. You just had to live in paradise, having everything done for you and say how good it was there. The island was simply magnificent. I had a small but comfortable house, a private beach, and a quad bike at my disposal. I spent my days swimming, lying on the beach, and driving around the island. The rest of the time I was texting Zoe. Of course, I told my girlfriend that I had gone on an expedition to explore a dangerous uninhabited island in the northern latitudes, because if she found out what I was doing, she would definitely leave me. Everything was going great. I felt like life was just a bowl of cherries. Then, one day, I got a call from the company that hired me. I was informed that I was fired and a boat would soon arrive to take me away from the island. To be honest, it didn't come as a surprise to me. The fact was that, in addition to carefree relaxation, I was supposed to take photos and write articles about the island on the company's website. But I was too lazy to do it, and I thought they would just forget. But it turned out that was the core of my job, so they kicked me out from the island. I came home with no money and no job. In addition, I discovered that my mother was ill and all the money my father earned was spent on her medications. I lay in my room for a couple of days and realized that I needed to look for something else. Zoe kept calling me and saying she wanted to meet me. I didn't even have money to take her to the movies. So I went back to the internet, trying to find a job. Needless to say, the one where you didn't have to do anything. The next day, I got a job as a pool tester. The company that made me hired me to just spend my days swimming beautifully in their pools and describing my experience. It was very easy. I could rest in the water, so I stayed there, eating pizza and sleeping with my sunglasses on. But a week later, I was fired again. Here I was really surprised, because I did my job properly. But it turned out that I was polluting the water in the pools with pizza and chips and didn't look very photogenic at all. Advertising photos with me came out so bad that customers refused to buy such pools. It was jolly unpleasant. I began to think that I didn't even know exactly how to be lazy. My parents' money was rapidly running out and my father started taking out loans again. Besides, my girlfriend was starting to get suspicious. Zoe began to ask strange questions and wonder what I was doing. I needed to find a job right away, so I went online again. Over the next week, I tried a bunch of different activities that paid easy money. I was a bed tester in a store that sold them. I just had to sleep and describe my feelings about this or that mattress. But I was quickly booted out. Then, I was a professional hugger. In this job, all you had to do was hug people who needed support. But I was disgusted with hugging strangers and left on my own. There was also a job as a tester of expensive yachts, but I was refused immediately when they saw me because the company only needed tall and muscular lookers. In general, after a week of torment, I did not find anything. I didn't meet Zoe at all this time. I was just too busy, and I didn't answer her calls so she wouldn't know what I was doing. At some point, she got tired of it and came to our house to sort out their relationships. Unfortunately, I was not home at the time, so the girl met my mother, who told her the whole truth about me. Of course, she didn't want to have anything more to do with a liar and a lazy person, and broke up with me. To tell you the truth, it made me feel better. First of all, there was no more need to spend money on her, and secondly, I felt too lazy to date with her. But this did not help me get rid of a serious problem. A week later, my parents again received a message from the bank demanding to return the loan. Otherwise, we would lose the house. We urgently needed money. I called the space exploration office, hoping they still needed an employee for experiments, but I was refused. My last hope was gone, and I only had one thing left. I had to do something I'd been afraid of all of my life. But there was no other way. So I went to get a regular job. I was hired as an ordinary loader at the warehouse. The work was simple. It was necessary to unload the arriving cars and put the goods on the shelves. I didn't even have time to sit down during the day, and there was no question of lying down. How hard it was! I couldn't believe I had to spend every day like this now. I couldn't run away from this job either. After all, then my family would be left without money, and we would all end up on the street. So I realized that you also need to have some skills to be a professional lazybones. Even if you get a job where you need to lie on the bed all day, you should know it will not be easy. Everything has its own difficulties and peculiarities. But I still believe that somewhere in the world there is a dream job where I will be paid millions just for that I'm not doing anything. Do you know a place like this? Write in the comments, because I can't unload these damn cars anymore.